Racial arrogance and racial discrimination of British rulers. All Indians, irrespective of their social, economic, and political status, were considered to be an inferior and uncivilized race. So, the British they thought that Indians are very inferior, that means they are very lower and they are very uncivilized person in the world. They were looked down upon, treated with contempt and humiliated. So the Indians were treated as you can say beggar or a servant, and they used to treat Indians as a very bad person, and they used to humiliate and torture us. Western ideas of equality and personal freedom were taught in English school and colleges in India. So, in the Western ideas, equality that means all people should be equal, and the personal freedom that means everyone should get freedom in any way were taught in English school and colleges in India. The Queen's proclamation of 1858 promised Indians equal opportunities. So the Queen's proclamation, which was done after the revolt of 1857, she promised that India will get equal opportunities in every field. This was in sharp contrast to the actual situation. Though the Indians were granted with equal opportunities in every field, but still this was not applicable at this situation, because the British were treating and exploiting the Indian resources and Indian people. The discriminatory policy adopted by the British at the social, political, and economic level were greatly resented by the Indian intellectuals. So, whatever the policies which were adopted by the British rule at the social, political, and economic level, they were not at all given, or opportunities were not given to Indian people, and these were all known by the Indian intellectuals or the Indian scholars and leaders. Indians were debarred from using park, clubs, hospital, libraries, and railways coaches reserved exclusively for the British. So Indians were not allowed to enter in the parks, clubs, hospitals, libraries, and railway coaches which was reserved for the British. That means the whichever clubs, parks which was used by the British, Indians were not allowed to enter it. All important position in the administration were also reserved for the British. So whatever the important position, that means the officer level position were also reserved for the British. No Indians were allowed to enter. Surendranath Banerjee was dismissed from the Indian civil service on flimsy ground. So, though Surendranath Banerjee he appeared in the Indian civil services, which was organized by the British rule, but he was rejected by the British. Why? Because he was Indian. Nominated Indian members in the Legislative Council were not given any power. Though they have given the representative in the Legislative Council, that means in the British government, but they were not given any powers.